Well, I've had Eugene Brooks on this show before, and he is my office neighbor to my right. And so I needed to go ahead and complete the set here and have my office neighbor to the left. I'm dubbing our three offices Music Row, John Farrell. That is what we are, because Eugene's in the music business for 20 years. I got Metallica posters and Stone stuff in my office. You have probably the coolest poster. That Pearl Jam poster you've got in your office is really cool. Yeah. But thank you for taking the time.
My pleasure.
We have the cool kids hallway.
We definitely do.
So we all just need to be on this podcast.
It's a little stale upstairs. I don't want to. Say that, but
we keep it fun down here.
We do.
Yeah.
But thank you very much. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. So as I was telling you beforehand, and I meant it, my favorite episodes are the ones where I get to talk with people that I work with. In your case, I literally see every day. You every time you walk by my office, the entire floor hears you go, "Ricky baby,
Ricky baby, how are you?"
every day, and that's one of my favorite things about coming to work. So. Before I wanted to get into how you got here, how your career led you into sports and getting into baseball with the Braves. Before we do that, just so for Braves country, Braves fans listening, so you're manager of Premium Partnerships. So just for folks who don't know what that is, what are Premium Partnerships and what does your job entail?
So I'm manager of Premium Partnerships Sales and Service, mostly servicing now over 200 accounts, but I handle all of the clubs. So the Truist Club, the Xfinity Club, the Delta Club, and our Champion Suites and Xfinity Club Suites, and also our new Lexus boxes.
Okay, yeah.
So it's about 4,200 seats total.
Okay. So managing that, like a typical day for you, is it some of it sales? Is a lot of it taking care of people who have purchased those tickets? Or what's a typical day? And I know I always say this with anybody that works in this game, like we all have like our offices and our desks, and it's your hours and your meetings, but it's not really, no 2 days are alike. Especially for you. I mean, you're entertaining people 81 games a year plus hopefully some postseason games. But what's a typical day like for you?
I mean, you got to handle, for us, if you call in and you need some extra stuff or a VIP package for one of your clients that are coming to a game, we handle that. All payments, I take that. We also do sales on the side.
Do you take that, or you pocket it personally?
I pocket it, yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Are we recording right now?
No. I muted that part. You're good.
Good.
Yeah.
So handle, day-to-day stuff. There's ticket transfers that have problems every once in a while with technology, and surprisingly, I actually can figure that out now.
Really?
Some people will be surprised, yeah.
I'm one of those people.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And then on game day, it's different because then we walk through the clubs. You're doing a lot of shaking hands, kissing babies, and building the relationship, which is fantastic.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
It is a great job.
That's awesome. So whenever I talk to a coworker, and I mentioned this before, I like to find out, well, how did you get here? So where are you from? Where did you go to school? And let's get to that path of how you ended up
All right. Well, was born in Milwaukee, moved to St. Louis, then New Jersey, then Pennsylvania, then Denver, and then Atlanta. I tell people it was the witness protection program. They don't believe me.
I believe you.
Yeah, I was John Farrell Lucci. We dropped the Lucci part. But my dad worked for IBM, so we moved everywhere. And we moved here in 85, went to St. Pius, then went to St. Leo, and then got back to Atlanta and got into telecom. So for the youngsters out there, they don't realize that we used to pay for local long-distance internet.
Yeah.
So it was a little different then, but I did that for 6 years. And then I found Derek Schiller, our president and CEO of the Atlanta Braves. I found his business card when he was with the Thrashers. A coworker had gone to an event and met him there in a networking event. So I called him every week for 8 straight weeks, one day, and just said, my name's John Farrell. I work for Net 2000 Telecommunications. We do local long-distance internet. I've always wanted to work in sports. What's it going to take for me to work for you? I finally got a call back 9 weeks into it. Went and saw him, and that relationship started. That was in 01. He left to come to the Braves, I think, 03. And then he asked me to come over here if I wanted to, and I said, I'd love to. And I came over here and started working for Paul Adams, doing ticket sales. Then worked at Jim Allen, doing suites. Went back to Paul, and then helped Van Wagner, the team up with us to sell this park. We moved in 2017.
That's awesome. So you were with the Thrashers for
3 years.
For 3 years, and then came over to the Braves, and you've been with the Braves ever since.
Yeah.
Okay. What was when you were growing up, especially since you moved around so much, what were your sports loves? Was it baseball, or was it any sports? And then what were your teams growing up? I mean, I always kind of had roots in one place growing up.
No, I played baseball growing up,
Okay.
so that was really, I think I was always good at everything. I was never great at one thing, and that doesn't surprise a lot of people that know me. But and I never played hockey, but I loved it. And when I went and worked there, I thought it was so cool to watch that sport live. And then in '85, when we moved here, I started playing tennis. So really got into tennis big time, and now I strictly just play golf.
Okay. All right. Did you have teams? Like, did you have teams that you rooted for?
So my favorite college team is the Michigan Wolverines.
Well, you're having a good year.
Victors. Yeah, they did good. I went out to the Rose Bowl with my wife. We had a ball. So that, and then all my family lives in Chicago, so I kind of was poisoned as being a Cub fan.
That's okay.
It was tough.
Yeah.
I did go to the World Series in 2016 to watch it, but I mean, obviously, Braves are my number one team, and I'm a huge Bronco fan.
Okay.
I'm living in Denver.
Yeah, I knew that about you. I didn't.
Yeah,
know,
that was the
stuff.
first. We were 12. I was 12 when we moved out there, so it was Elway's rookie year, and my dad got tickets through IBM, and so we went to every home game, and that was it for me.
Oh, that's awesome. Elway's rookie year? Oh, man, what a time at that age, too.
Yeah, and then we left, and then they went on their run for the 3 Super Bowls with them, which was fine, but...
It was right after you left town.
Exactly.
Hey, we won a World Series here, so that means that all this curse stuff is not true.
Thank you. Yeah, and I have the ring at my house.
Yeah.
I can tell you where it is, but I have it there.
Likewise. Yep. Same here. Okay, so what is your favorite part of your job? Working here with the Braves, managing premium partnerships and sales. Like, what's the favorite part of it for you?
I'd say there's 2 with our customers. It's the relationship builds that we have with them. We do a lot of day trips during the year, and I just have so much fun meeting people, all the different backgrounds they come from. Get invited to play some nice golf courses with them. That's team building for 4.5 hours, 5 hours.
That's great team building.
But I tell you, I love the people here. Like, I think when you look around and see how many people have been here for 30 plus years, 20 plus years, I mean, it's amazing. We have such a cool core of people, and I mean, my department I love my department.
Yeah.
And I'm not, managing up to BJ Mitchell, who runs our show, but it's just great every day to day, something new, and you don't go home stressed. I mean, yeah, I want the team to play better, and I think we will, and I want, to be sold out. I want all of our clients to have so much fun every game, but I don't go home and stress out. Like, when I sold telecom, you had a quota every year. Now, we have a quota here too, don't get me wrong, but I think it's really the people.
Yeah, it really is.
Overall.
That's what I tell people here too. It's like I wake up every day and I look forward to going into work. And maybe I'm a little cynical. I feel like the vast majority of the population out there, that's probably not the case. I think that there's probably a lot of people who maybe they don't hate their job, they don't love it, but they're just okay with it. I think that there's some that absolutely hate it. And then I think that there's a small amount of us that wake up every day and really enjoy, like, look forward to going in and have fun. That's how I feel about it.
I'm with you. I mean, I used to tell people, like, when I'd we'd come see your, baby shower and be like, oh, hey, I'm John. Hey, I'm so-and-so. What do you do for a living? Oh, I sell local long distance and internet. Now it's so much fun. You go in like, hey, how you doing? Hey, I'm John Farrell. Hey, what do you do? Oh, I work for the Braves. You do? What do you do for them? And they'll tell you a story about, well, my dad took me to a game, or, our whole family went to a game and I saw Chipper Jones. It's cool. I love that.
Yeah, I love that element of it too.
Yeah.
Actually, there was a gentleman just last week who listened to our last week's show. He's Edmonton, Canada, big Braves fans like me because of TBS. Mm-hmm. All the best to his Oilers, by the way. I think he's a big Oilers fan, which from what I hear, it's down 2-0, so it's probably not. Well, hey, they're still in it. It ain't over till it's over. But Braves fan named Darren, he wrote in the long email just thanking me for the show we did last week. We interviewed Jeff Treadway from the early 90s Braves last week, and we had talked about, I'd asked Jeff about this game where he pulled off the hidden ball trick in San Diego. And so Darren, the fan who wrote in, said that I think he was, I don't have it in front of me, but I believe he was like 10 or 11, and he was at that game, but he never knew, this is 1989 or whatever. You don't just check internet and you don't really know what's happened, and just all of a sudden somebody was out and he didn't understand. So it was all these decades later that he realized that's what had happened, that he was at that game. And then he shared a long email with me, just memories of a Braves fan. And I was like, it made my week.
Cool.
Somebody that listened to a show or checks out the Braves, like, that. But that's what it's all about. You make those connections with people, and it's that's what's great about this job.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
100%.
All right. What would be your advice to somebody wanting to work in sports? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you're gonna say be persistent.
Be persistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just don't go in as a fan, a big fan of the team. Like, go in because you want to be in sports, you want to work with great people like we do here. And, yeah, persistence pays off. I think it does with everything. And, you give someone your word, stick to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, 100%.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite memories of working on this job, or favorite stories? What's the funniest? What are some of the funniest ones that come to mind that we can tell on this somewhat family-rated podcast?
I mean, going into this ballpark, we were over at 1100 building. We had a preview center there. Mm-hmm. That was awesome. You had a big design of the whole battery, the ballpark, and we would go up there and we'd show people where their seats were going to be, et cetera. And then we'd do a grand reveal where you just hit a button and we'd open up the blinds and we're looking right out at this thing coming out of the ground. It was too cool for 2+ years.
Yeah, that was. I remember coming over here for the first time, and I had a couple meetings over in that building. And the first time I was up there and got to see what this place looked like, it was just, I don't know, you couldn't even describe it. It was amazing.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say, like, working with Paul Adams back in the day, we had a Georgia's own credit union club right next to the press box on the right side. And then on the left side, if you're looking at home plate, we had Superior Plumbing Club. But Paul and I, this is, as a Bronco fan, and he grew up, likes Texas and stuff, and Baylor really, but he called himself RG3. He called me Tim Tebow. Looking back, those two great people, just not great quarterbacks. But that was our little Starsky and Hutch. But we would go and sell people, and Paul would get all excited, and I love it. He'd be like, right here is where the organist is, and our GM sits right there. And he goes, I used to look up here and see Andrew Jones. I would always laugh because he gets so into it. Probably one of the best sales guys in this office.
Right, yeah.
He's kind of a silent assassin. But, yeah, that was our fun. I think every day is so much fun to laugh.
Yeah.
And we do have a good crew around here that gives you good chuckles.
We do. By the way, you've been, I said earlier, you come by my office every day and say, Ricky, baby. Yeah. So I've recently, I don't know if you noticed this, this has been going on. How long have I had that office? 2 years? 3 years? So it's taken me all this time to finally start coming up with a response. And I was listening to a band from Atlanta that I like a lot, been around a long time, Seven Dust, and they put out an acoustic live album 20 years ago, but I still listen to it every now and then. At that time, they did a cover of a cover. They did, Johnny Cash, about that time 20 years ago, shortly before he passed, he had the big cover of 9 Inch Nails' Hurt. Well, then Seven Dust did a cover of Johnny's version of it on this live album. It's a great, great version. I love it. But at the very end, right after the song's played and the crowds cheer, and the singer just goes, Johnny Cash, like his little impersonation. So I've now been, when you say Ricky baby, I answer with Johnny Farrell, and I think I'm liking it. I think I'm going to roll with it.
I dig it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that they covered Hurt because, I'm a huge Pearl Jam fan, and they just covered that. Eddie did. He did it his version of like what Johnny Cash did. So it was in Seattle their second night, I believe.
Okay.
It was phenomenal.
All right, we're music guys. I know this is behind the Braves, but I'll ask you a Pearl Jam question. What's your? I know you've seen Pearl Jam a bunch of times. I think
45 times.
45.
45.
Wow. Are you going for? Do you have a number you're going for, or just as long as they're
really.
still around?
And what's funny is like we were in Texas in Austin for 2 shows, and these 2 ladies are holding up signs. One said my 125th show. The other one was like my 100th.
And then you feel
show,
like
I'm like, God, now I feel terrible.
Yeah, what am I supposed to do now?
I try to support my boys.
Yeah, I know.
Farthest I've ever seen them was Italy, which was phenomenal. I don't have a number in mind, though. As long as they keep going, I think they're good for another solid 5 years.
Yeah. See, I'm a Metallica fanboy, and I've only got 9 shows under my belt, which is just...
You have kids, too. I don't have kids at home.
Well,
so
she's only 2 months old, so I'm going to use that as the excuse.
Oh, buddy, I'm helping you here.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's going to... From this point on, it's definitely going to be an excuse because they're still on tour this year, and I ain't going to have time to go see them.
I've only seen them once, so make you feel better. I thought they were phenomenal.
Yeah. When did you see them?
They were in Atlanta. So
okay.
They were at Lakewood, which I don't even know what it is now.
Yeah, the amphitheater down there. Yeah.
But James got hurt at Lake Lanier on a jet ski. So they had to, I forget, it might have been Kid Rock playing with them.
So this was 2000.
Yeah, so they had to play the show again. I think they were supposed to play at Mercedes, and they redid it at Lakewood.
They were. So first
That's
time
what it
I
was.
saw him was on that tour, and it was right before he injured himself down here. Because I saw him July 4th, 2000 in Baltimore on that same tour. Yeah, interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Music buffs.
That's us. That's us. What's your? All right, one more Pearl Jam question,
Yes.
and we'll wrap up. What is your favorite Pearl Jam memory, like of seeing them or meeting them?
Okay. 2007 Lollapalooza. Long story short, won't get into it, but knew their production manager. So my uncle, my brother, and I went to Grant Field. It was 65,000 people, I think. And my buddy said, hey, you're going backstage with us tonight. So we went backstage. Lance Armstrong, Dennis Rodman, Phil Donahue, Chris Chelios, Brett Hall were all standing there with us. And the end of the song, Rockin' in the Free World, Eddie came over and just yelled at my brother and I, said, get up here. There was probably 60 people on stage. So we are standing next to Stone, their guitarist, and boom, the keyboard guy, and security's looking around like, enough. So
You were
literally
on stage at Lollapalooza with Pearl Jam?
in 2007. Yeah, there's one clip for about a 10-second blast on YouTube. You can see me doing my little dance.
I've spent the last 25 years of my life going to shows and like amassing all of these cool music stories. And you just put it like that. All my stories stink now compared to that. That's awesome.
No, they're good for you. They're in here. Yeah, but that was like, that's the highlight.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
it was
amazing.
cool.
Well, I'll wrap it up with saying the one time I saw Pearl Jam was at Bonnaroo in 2008, and the two big headliners that weekend were Metallica on Friday night and Pearl Jam on Saturday. So I got to see our two favorite bands that same weekend.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
All right, let's go get another World Series ring. How about that?
I'd
this
love
year?
that.
Okay.
We have the chance.
Yeah, I think
I mean,
so.
this team is good.
Yeah.
They can't all be on a slide at the same time like this. I don't get it.
Everybody has rough stretches. We're getting it out of the
Yeah.
way right now, so we'll be fine.
Well, it's funny. I talked to Greg McMichael the other day, and obviously he was a heck of a player and a champion. And he said that when you get hurt in the beginning of the year, it throws everything off. And I thought that was interesting because I never thought of that. Like Murphy with the oblique,
Yeah.
and then he gets hit in the arm in Boston when we were there, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
but he's too good.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all too good.
Oh yeah. We'll get it together. Get this rough stretch out of the way now, and then we'll be good to go. Hey, you'll see John. You can see John around the ballpark. The new the Lexus level that looks pretty, or the Lexus Suites, terrace boxes.
Yeah,
are
they're
what I'm
Lexus
calling?
boxes.
Yeah.
The Lexus level.
Those look
there.
really cool.
They turned out phenomenal. I mean, great credit to Jason and Michael and Nick. They really poured it in and sold those things without any renderings.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the demand we have.
Right.
I mean, we really have this gigantic wait list. We're sold out for 2024. I'm doing renewals now for 25. I think I had 52 accounts. I have 5 left.
Wow.
And only one has said no, and that was because he has other seats, but he split these with his neighbor. So it wasn't, oh, the team's not playing great now or the money's too much. No, this is the spot to be.
I tell people all the time what we've had going on here for the last few years, really since things started booming again coming out of COVID. A typical night at this ballpark is not the normal thing. You're not just going to go to any of the other 29 ballparks and get what you get here on a typical night. The atmosphere here right now at this team, it's unmatched. So.
What they did. I mean, Mike and Derek, and that was the best kept secret in sports. Nobody in our department or anywhere knew what we were going to do. Move over here.
Yeah.
But this every night. You can come here with your family. It's great.
Yeah. I have to ask. I said I was going to wrap up, but since you brought it up, I am curious because I wasn't working here when this ballpark was announced. I remember exactly where I was in Virginia, what I was doing, how I saw it. And me as a longtime Braves fan, I mean, I had, like everybody else, no clue, none whatsoever.
Right.
So did you find out that, and working in the office, did you find out like everybody else did pretty much that day?
I mean, yeah, we all got a email from Paul Adams saying, please come in early. And I think he was actually at a conference. And so we all got in one office, and he called in and said, we're moving to Cobb County. And I was kind of thinking to myself, like, where are they going?
Yeah.
But I used to work in telecom before I met Derek and everything right here, which is so funny because we cut through here, and this was just, 90 acres of a swamp?
Yeah.
Basically, and the gas line. And, like, I couldn't even picture it in my head where we were going. And then once you saw him develop everything, it was like, wow.
That's so. And so you used to work up here in your previous job, and then
Literally Interstate North. And
No kidding. Oh,
so we
wow.
cut across this way to go to Cobb Parkway to get lunch and stuff, and that was it. And we called on a lot of businesses around here, obviously selling telecom. But
Yeah.
and then I'm like, wait, this comes full circle.
That's amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
That's a great place to end it. Well, thank you, buddy, for taking the time.
Appreciate it.
This
I'm
is going to
psyched.
break. This is going to break records.
I think it is.
I think. Yeah. I might get. Well, we both might get raises out of this.
I kind of hope so.
Yeah.
I mean,
I got a 2-month-old. I definitely hope so.
we're going to break records. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we should do this again.
I do too. I do too.
We'll see tomorrow how the.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how
yeah.
it goes.
Well,
see.
you're
what
the
goes.
best.
Yeah,
Ricky,
you're the
baby.
best. Johnny Farrell.
Go
everybody.
Braves. Yeah.